2025-2026 MFL Draft. It is the first draft in the history of our league. And of course, there's been a lot of hot prospects, especially with the college football season going on right now for us. But, a lot of these teams have been really hyping up some of these big prospects lately, and we're going to see who each of them are going to take. And it appears that the Cleveland Browns have just traded down with the Indianapolis Colts for the first overall pick. So now the first overall pick will go to the Cleveland Browns, and they will be
No,
on
the
the
Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis Colts. Okay, sorry, I'm talking too fast. Jeez. Okay, the Indianapolis Colts are now the first overall pick, with the Cleveland Browns being now the 10th overall pick.
And don't forget, the Browns also have the 32nd overall pick because last year, the Jaguars, of course, winning the Super Bowl, now have the 32nd overall pick.
Yep, so the Indianapolis Colts will be on the clock right now. With the whole, there's been this whole Daniel Jones debacle and Anthony Richardson not quite working out. And the Colts weren't the worst team in the league for us last year, obviously, but they didn't have the season that they wanted to, and I probably expect them to take a quarterback, but we'll see. Can't imagine why else they would trade up.
I mean, of course, they could also take some defense, though. The Browns were...
All right, the pick is in. So, here in the MFL Draft, the first overall pick for the Indianapolis Colts is Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana. So, what are your thoughts on that pick?
Wow, I mean, this is competition for Daniel Jones, of course, as of right now, and in the NCAA. He's thrown for 6 so far this season. He's thrown 16 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and over 1,000 yards. So, and it's only week 6. It's only week 8. And well, it's week 6 as of recording, and he's had a good year. So, that's a good. I'd say that's a good pick for the Colts, but that does bring in some competition. You bring in some competition for Daniel Jones, who, hey, maybe it was maybe his NFL season, maybe that was just a fluke.
All right, so the second overall pick will be announced in a second. The Seattle Seahawks there on the clock. So they had a little bit of a season with Sam Darnold last year. Didn't work out too well. They were playing really good football at the beginning. They were just playing teams a lot better than them, and they finished with about 2 to 3 wins. So what do you expect out of Seattle today? Last year they were working a lot on their O-line and their secondary. What do you expect now?
I can see a more O-line pick. Could also see a quarterback. No, we know the Jalen Milroe. So they have Jalen Milroe. Maybe they may want to try and bring in a skills player to help him.
The pick is in. So for the second overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks have selected Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. So that's an interesting pick. Of course, they put a lot of their faith in JSN. They had just traded for Cooper Kupp last year. And
you drafted Horton also last year in I believe the second round, first or second round. So that's you're making your receiving room look like a lot like a team like Tampa Bay, who was in the NFC Championship game last year, Minnesota, who went to the playoffs.
Yep.
So I think that's what you want to do. You want to build as much help around your runner quarterback, Jalen Milroe from Alabama. So I like the pick.
Sorry, I forgot. On the clock right now is the Buffalo Bills. So, of course, they were not the team we expected them to be last year. They only finished with 4 or 5 wins, and we've expected a lot out of this team ever since they got Josh Allen. Of course, they've been in the conference championship times a couple times. They've competed with the best quarterbacks in the AFC, like Patrick Mahomes, like Joe Burrow, like Lamar Jackson. But last year they were just at the bottom of the barrel and the second worst team in the AFC. Oh, looks like the pick is in now, and with the third overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills have selected Denzel Boston, wide receiver, Washington.
Of course, the Bills traded for Chris Olave. They traded Khalil Shakir. So now you get a great receiver in Denzel Boston. along to go with Chris Olave, Keon Coleman, and this James Cook and your star quarterback Josh Allen. So yeah, this will definitely be a different Bills team. The defense is elite, so yeah, this is a good season to close off Highmark Stadium. Will probably be a good season for Buffalo to close off Highmark Stadium. Maybe you can bring a ring to it finally.
And on the clock right now is the Washington Commanders. This is the second NFC team behind Seattle. And with them last year, it really seemed to be the defense. Like, it seemed like teams like Minnesota, Philly, basically any team with an electric offense were just crushing them last year. So I expected them to...
And, of course, Jaden Daniels getting hurt.
Yeah, and I fully expect them to take defense here. I mean, you'd be stupid not to at this point. But let's see what they take. The pick is in just a few seconds. And with the 4th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Washington Commanders have taken T.J. Parker, defensive end, edge rusher, Clemson. I think that's a good pick, honestly. I think there's still quite a bit to fix with their defense, with the run as well. But I think this is a good start. Of course, they've been one of the most electric offenses recently, especially with Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin and wherever it be. But I really do think that if there's anything to fix with this team, it is that run defense and the defense in general. Really, like aside from the secondary, it's just not that strong of a squad.
Yeah, I mean it's very old, like Von Miller. Of course, they brought in Von Miller this offseason, but Bobby Wagner, a lot of old talent, and they're starting to run out. So, run out of that talent, I feel like you should bring in some of that younger talent. Good pick from Washington.
All right, so now on the clock, one of their NFC East rivals, it's the Dallas Cowboys. So, of course, with them, we know what their biggest problem's been lately. It's been that defense, just like Washington. But this time, it's really more been, in some cases, the safety room. Because I will say the corner room is quite talented, but.
And the defensive line, without Micah Parsons, this defense is nothing.
Yeah, so I expect them to go all out here, potentially with a safety, maybe an edge rusher, but we'll see what Dallas takes here. And the pick is in with the 5th overall pick in the MFL Draft. The Dallas Cowboys have selected Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State. Now, that's a big one. He was the biggest DB prospect in the draft this year, so that's a big take from Dallas.
Yeah, Caleb Downs, one of the best. If a team like I feel like honestly maybe he could have won 1st overall. He's a very good talent. Indy needed one, so I'm actually kind of a little surprised that Indy didn't take Caleb Downs. So, good pick from Dallas, and now maybe Dallas needs an edge rusher soon though. Micah is gone.
And we have a lot of news about the NFC East right now because the Eagles have traded away their 2nd-round pick and a couple players for Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker T.J. Watt. Now that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean T.J. Watt, one of the best defensive players in the league. Oh, it was Defensive Player of the Year candidate last year. Of course, it ended up going to, I believe. Who did it end up going to?
What, for Defensive Player of the Year last year?
Yeah, D-Play.
I'll check. Hang on.
I remember.
While I go over this, the Detroit Lions are on the clock though, and you could talk a little bit about what they might take.
Yeah, Detroit probably could take. I could see them taking center. I mean, Frank Ragnow with Frank Ragnow's.
Jalen Carter was Defensive Player of the Year last year.
I can see them taking Sagnus. Of course, it was very unexpected that Frank Ragnow would retire, so now they don't really have a good center room right now, and I can see them also taking a linebacker. They've needed a linebacker over the past few years, and let's see.
The pick is in. So for the 6th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Detroit Lions have drafted Jake Slaughter, center from Florida. Now, that is a big pick. We just talked about how they needed a center, and they took the best one that the draft had to offer this year. So we'll see how Jake Slaughter does in Detroit. But while we talk about this, the Carolina Panthers are on the clock for 30 seconds. What do you expect from them? Because I feel like they've, out of any team we've named so far, they probably have the most to clean up right now.
Carolina, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like with Carolina, that you could take a defense is key. Or you could take another wide receiver like you did last year with Ted McMillan. But you could take. I feel like defense is key for this Carolina offense team. You've seen Bryce Young, great quarterback, needs a little bit of help on his defense. His defense cannot hold up, and the pick is in.
And with the 7th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Carolina Panthers have selected Keldrick Falk, edge rusher Auburn. So a little bit more help on that defensive side. I think we all expect.
Now, Kendrick Folk probably excited to get out of Auburn, of course, right now, as again out of his recording for our season. Auburn is winless. Yeah. So has 1 win. So Kendrick Folk, psyched to get out of Auburn. He is not the reason why. He's a great defensive player. So I would say good pick. Good. He was a high prospect, of course. That's why he's taking so high from Carolina.
And on the clock right now, just a few seconds to go, is the Houston Texans. So I think we all know what to expect them from this draft.
Yeah, if you saw last year at all, C.J. Stroud was getting dismantled. He was lucky not that he didn't get hurt, but his offense, he had no protection last year. I mean, like it was like going to C.J. Stroud was like getting into a freaking into like a college girl's like dorm room. Like it was insane. Like he had no protection.
All right, so with the 8th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Houston Texans have selected Francis Mauigo, offensive tackle, Miami.
Good pick.
Yeah,
Miami, one of the best defenses in the country.
Well, this is offensive line, though.
Sorry, I meant offensive lines in the country. Though you could argue that some part of the reason why it's so good is because, well, Carson Beck, one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now.
And
actually, that's just one thing. No quarterbacks have been selected so far.
On the clock, no, one has.
Oh yeah, sorry. No quarterback.
And on the clock right now, by the way, is the Bears. And I expect them to take a run game. I
mean, DeAndre Swift had a good year last year, but besides DeAndre Swift, he usually like attacked because not much besides him. He's not a 3-down back.
All right, and with the 9th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Chicago Bears have selected Jeremiah Love, running back Notre Dame. That's a big pick right there.
Right now, as of recording, he is a Heisman contender.
Yeah.
So this is a very good pick.
And now with the pick that was traded down from the Cleveland Browns, the 10th overall pick, they are on the clock right now with about 20 seconds. What do you think the Browns really take here?
If I'm the Browns, I'm gonna honestly you could take a receiver. You could take a trash bag of what your franchise has been for the 70 years. Defense, I swear to God, if this team invests more defense.
And the pick is in. And with the 10th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Cleveland Browns select Eric Singleton Jr., wide receiver, Auburn.
All right, another Auburn player selected. All right, so I don't know why Auburn's so ass. I don't get it, personally, because they already have 2 picks in the top 32 first round. But, yeah, Singleton, good receiver, but if you're Cleveland, you want to be. If I'm Cleveland, I'm like, all right, yeah, this team has not been good. Your fans, the Dog Pound is a loyal fan base, thankfully, but if you are in a smaller media, media place, it would be pretty bad.
All right, and the team that just got off the clock right now is the San Diego Chargers, and with the 11th overall pick, they select Max Clare, tight end from Ohio State. Of course, the defending national champions, not doing too well in.
We're thinking about doing a March Madness type bracket, so they could come back. But yeah, the Ohio State not doing too well this season, even though they're defending champions. They have had a tough schedule and a tough Eastern Conference.
And on the clock right now is the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that honestly disappointed last year. Now we know that they haven't been in the greatest roster position. They have no run game, but they do still have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and that's been enough for them in the past few years. But I expect them probably to take a run game or some defense.
I can also see a tight end because, of course, Travis Kelce retiring.
And with the 12th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Malik Muhammad, cornerback, Texas. So they're adding to that already, I'd say, good DB room. If I were the Chiefs, at some point I'm taking a run game here, but
Yeah, though they did just trade for Rico Dowdle from Carolina, and they traded for Alvin Kamara, so maybe they're fine when it comes to the run game.
And on the clock right now is the Baltimore Ravens. So we've seen in the NFL, I mean, their secondary has completely disappointed this season, on top of some bad coaching. But, you know, they signed all these big-name CBs, and they gave big contracts to some of them, and they just haven't really shown up. So I expect, and Baltimore is a big fan of taking DBs in the draft, so that's what I expect them to take. And, the pick is in right now. And with the 13th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens have selected Zachariah Branch, wide receiver from Georgia. So
I like this pick. You have Lamar. Like, let's be honest, DeAndre Hopkins is washed dishes. Zay Flowers is not that good of a wide receiver. He's okay, he's mid. And
Bateman can't do everything on his own here, so.
Yeah. And I mean, Isaiah Likely and Andrews can't catch. So, and I mean, Isaiah Likely's good, but.
All right, and I should have said it with the Ravens, but we're starting to get to the teams who made the postseason now, not the playoffs, but the play-in. And on the clock right now is the New Orleans Saints, a team that completely blew us out of the water. We didn't expect them to do anything last year with Russell Wilson, but they were able to get to the play-in. So
I mean, of course, we put every player in their prime. We're not going to do this year, but we did put every player in their prime, and Russell Wilson was insane in his prime. So.
And now with the 14th overall pick in the MFL draft, the New Orleans Saints have selected Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback, LSU.
All right, so he's staying in Louisiana, but all right, so you already have you just signed Sam Darnold. Now you're gonna take Nussmeier. You see, what Sam Darnold did last year with what he did last year with you traded for Sam Darnold. So what Nussmeier did Sam did last year was he trained Jalen Milroe. Now Jalen Milroe could be a starter in this league, and you take Garrett Nussmeier, and maybe Nussmeier can be a great quarterback in this league. So we'll see.
And on the clock right now is the Raiders, and they are about to announce their pick in a second with the 15th overall pick in the MFL draft. The Las Vegas Raiders have selected Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker from Texas. So we know that the Raiders like to put a lot of stock into their defense, and this is another star that they've signed. What do you think about this one?
Anthony Hill Jr., probably the best linebacker in this class, next to that man from Texas Tech. But good pick overall, I guess. I would have taken a lineman, maybe a quarterback, because Geno Smith is fucking dog shit, and Carson Wentz could be washed. But so not a horrible pick, but could be a shit pick.
All right, on the clock right now is the 49ers, and they are about to announce their pick in a moment. And with the 16th overall pick in the MFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. That is a big pick.
Yeah, one of the better he's been a wide receiver too for Ohio State for his entire career. Sadly, because first you have to deal with Emeka Ibuka being one of the best receivers you'll ever see, and then Jeremiah. And then you see cannot think of his name. Ohio State's current receiver, can't think of his name. He's really good, but yeah, he'll definitely be a great receiver for the Niners, and the Niners have struggled at receiving because they're always hurt. So Carnell Tate's probably gonna get hurt in his first year because it's the fucking Niners. They're cursed, but yeah.
And with the 17th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals have selected Peter Woods, edge rusher from Clemson. All right, so
All right, Peter Woods, prepare to not be paid, to
no,
struggle to be paid, and prepare to not have drinking water on the sidelines because the Bengals organization is run like shit. So sorry to whoever you are. Sorry for the management. Feel sorry for Peter Woods. This management's horrible.
and on the clock right now is the New York Football Giants.
Um,
I expect them probably to add to the receiving core.
Yeah,
I mean Malik is
oh,
one. He got hurt, and two,
OBJ's retired.
yeah, there's not really many receivers outside of Malik on that team. So
Yeah, and every receiver on this team that's not named Malik Neighbors cannot catch for shit.
yeah,
so.
and Brian Dable's putting a lot of faith into Jackson Dart right now, so it's unlikely they take a QB. And here we go, with the 18th overall pick in the MFL draft, the New York Giants have selected Nick Harbor, wide receiver from South Carolina. So kind of an expected pick from the Giants here. They have a great defense. They could work in their secondary a little bit, which I expect them to do later in the draft. They're putting their faith into Jackson Dart, so I didn't expect them to take a QB. So really, they were only left to maybe a wide receiver or tight end. But yeah, they take Nick Harbor here, and that's a good pick.
All right, so for Atlanta is next on the clock, and Atlanta, you've seen a lot of with Atlanta. I mean, they added a lot of a on the defensive line last year. I could see them continuing to do that. So yeah.
Yep. And with the 19th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons have selected Rubian Bain Jr., defensive lineman / edge rusher from Miami. What are your thoughts on the pick?
I mean, I expected to build on this gooning room. I mean, 2 years ago, you had the worst defensive line in the NFL. You go to a wild card this year, you get upset by the Cardinals, but good pick from Atlanta.
All right, and on the clock right now is the Denver Broncos. So they are a team that is about as close to complete as you can expect, but let's see what they take.
I can see it being defense because I love their defense.
All right, with the 20th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Denver Broncos select Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver, South Carolina. That is a pick that you did not expect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that Denver didn't just stat pad with the defense, but yeah, good pick because Denver definitely needs it. Besides Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims, they don't really have a receiving room in this fucking planet, but. And Marvin Mims do solid. They don't have a receiving room, so yeah, good pick.
All right, and on the clock right now is the Tennessee Titans. So we saw them in the NFL. They not so good in the MFL. However, they did pretty well before getting blown up by Jacksonville in the wild card round. So really, I just expect them to keep building on that offense. It's a pretty old offense. If anything, it's going to be a wide receiver, a tight end. I still think they have faith in their defense, but we'll see. And of course, they drafted Cam Ward last year, first overall. So with the 21st pick in the MFL draft, the Tennessee Titans selected Joe Royer, tight end, Cincinnati.
Wow, a college from a university that's better run than their NFL team.
Yep.
Anyways, so Joey Royer, of course, is great with tight end. Kind of carries Cincinnati, which is pretty mids in the NCAA. So yeah, good pick.
All right, and on the clock now is the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this is a front office that knows what they're doing, and I expect them to go all out. Probably defense, if I'm being honest, because that offense is absolutely stacked. I could say offensive line, too, because Stafford's protection wasn't that great last year. In the MFL, Stafford was a top 3 most sacked QB in the league. So I expect them.
I mean, they could also go quarterback, and Stafford said this is his last year.
Yeah, but I doubt they go first overall. Let's see what they do, though. And with the 22nd overall pick in the MFL draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jermod McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee. So that's what I expected. The two things they needed to work on in this draft, in my opinion, at least first round, was either O-line or defense, especially pass defense, and that's what they did. So Jermod McCoy, good pick from Tennessee, but on the clock right now is the New England Patriots. And
yeah, so Rams.
So yeah, with the Patriots, I mean, they are great pass defense. The run defense has been a little bit shaky, and they have had some running back issues.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of Vrabel's fault of starting Ramondre Stevenson, there's no sugarcoating it anymore. He's horrible. Horrible running back. Travion Henderson is so much better. I don't know why this fucking team doesn't start him. Anyways.
And with the 23rd overall pick in the MFL draft, the New England Patriots select Mekhi Hughes. Running back. Tulane. Okay. They took a running back. I kind of expected that. They didn't have the strongest run game, even outside of Ramondre Stevenson. So
I mean, Travion Henderson is the only good running back on this fucking team. So
yeah, but so this is another running back taken by them.
From a pretty irrelevant college, but
yep. And now on the clock is the team that you could say had a run, better than they probably should have, and that is the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, only finishing with 8 wins last year, and I believe going all the way to the wild card round after having to win the NFC play-in, and they would eventually fall short to the division winners that year of the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers. So.
But of course, in the NFL, we saw Jason McCarthy get hurt. He's better now, but.
Yep, and so the pick is in with the 24th overall pick in the MFL draft. The Minnesota Vikings select Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama.
All right, so Alabama overshowing better than I thought they were going to be this year.
Yep.
I mean, in NCAA, they got fucking destroyed by FSU, and I feel like that made people underrate them. But, good pick. Alabama's defense, of course, one of the best in the league. I mean, we saw that game versus Pittsburgh and for us, and yeah, Pittsburgh, they went for it on 4th down twice, didn't get it either time, and Alabama's defense was able to stop them both times, and it was led by this guy. So, yeah, good pick.
By the way, a quick reminder, the defending Super Bowl champion Jacksonville Jaguars do not have a first-round pick, so with the 32nd pick, you will see Cleveland get their second first-round pick. But on the clock right now is the second most dominant team based off record in the NFC last year, and that is the Green Bay Packers. And they did finish with the same record as Tampa Bay with 14-4. But so what do you expect from Green Bay? To me, I think their biggest hole last year, if anybody really watched their games, it was that offense. It was Jeff Hafley's defense doing all the work, and I expect them to help their offense a bit so they can be as dominant as the Eagles were.
Jacobs carried entirely.
Yeah, and with the 25th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Green Bay Packers have drafted Antonio Williams, wide receiver from Clemson. Kind of expected. They took Matthew Golden last year.
Clemson in our thing is really good. In the NCAA, they are stinky. Yeah. Good pick from Antonio Williams, of course. Played with one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and Clay Klubnik, who still hasn't been drafted, by the way.
Yeah. And on the clock right now is the Toronto Jets, a team that
just moved to Toronto, and
not only that, it completely shocked us last year. I mean, they started the season 7-0 before eventually falling short to the New England Patriots, and
went to the divisional round and lost.
They beat they lost to the Jags, beat the Broncos in the wild card. Okay. Anyways, with the 26th overall pick, the Toronto Jets have selected Eli Stowers, tight end, Vanderbilt. Sorry. So, what are your thoughts on this pick? I think, tight end is one of the areas that were struggling.
Yeah, they took a tight end in the first one last year, did not work so well. But a good pick from the Jets. Vanderbilt, of course, overseeing expectations over in the NCAA. And good pick.
All right, and on the clock right now are the Miami Dolphins, a team that, again, a lot like the Minnesota Vikings, went a lot further, even further than the Vikings did, than people expected them to. It took them until the divisional round to be eliminated by the 1-seed Steelers.
And they barely did. It was a Hail Mary from the GOAT of Hail Marys, Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, which would send the Steelers to the conference round to face the Jaguars that year. So now, with the 27th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Miami Dolphins have selected Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon. So,
all right.
Yeah, of course we know that they lost their tight end to Pittsburgh last year. What's his name?
What?
The Dolphins lost their tight end to Pittsburgh.
Johnny Smith.
Jonnu Smith, thank you.
Yeah,
so now
fucking
for
safety.
Minka Fitzpatrick, yeah.
Yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick.
Okay,
Yeah.
so anyways.
Minka.
Yeah, I said that. I said Minka Fitzpatrick.
I said Minka.
Anyways, no,
Minka.
so yeah, the Dolphins making up for their tight end issues here, selecting one of the first 3 tight ends in this draft here. But on the clock next is the Cardinals, another team that really shocked us. They won the division just barely when the Rams were leading it for almost the whole season.
10-8.
And it took them until the divisional round to be eliminated by the eventual NFC champions, the Eagles. So,
yeah, which have been the best team in the NFC arguably for the past decade. So yeah, great pick. So great season from Arizona. And they were barely lost to Philly, by the way.
Yeah,
it was a close game.
Well, yeah, and then Philly kind of ran away with it at the end there, but.
Yeah.
With the 28th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Arizona Cardinals selected Spencer Fanout, offensive tackle, Utah. So, yeah, getting Kyler some protection up there. Of course, him being a shorter QB, he's naturally disadvantaged in the pocket despite his... And
his O-line through his entire career has been doo-doo shits, but...
Yeah, despite his mobile abilities, he is, again, disadvantaged because of how short he is. And, yeah, so good work there from Arizona, in my opinion, to get that offensive line going. And the Steelers are now on the clock now. This is a team that was one game away from the Super Bowl. So I expect them to maybe take a quarterback, maybe go to the run game. I don't know.
I mean, their run game has been ass. It was ass last year with washed ass Nick Chubb. So.
And with the 29th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Nicholas Singleton, RB, Penn State. So this was a top 3 prospect in the draft. So big get from Pittsburgh here.
Yeah, I know they just signed a running back. I forget who they signed, but yeah. So now you have a dual running back because Caleb Johnson, after that fumble, should never touch a football field in the Iron Grid ever again. After that fumble in the Seahawks game in the NFL. So yeah, good pick from Pittsburgh because Caleb Johnson is horrible.
All right, and on the clock right now is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, if we know their previous draft history, it's typically wide receiver, or they go to the O-line. They'll sometimes go to the D-line. But here, I mean, they were an electric offense.
Even in the Philly game, the offense still did great. It's just it ended up the defense just couldn't get past Philly's offense. Saquon had a good game, and it's just like practically unfair. So
yeah, and with the 30th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have selected DJ Harvey, cornerback, Florida. So big get for them there.
Yeah, I mean,
fixing up that secondary a bit. And now on the clock is the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, the last NFC team here for the first round of the draft, and before we move on to the Browns, and then the second round in just a moment. But so for the Eagles here, I think it's been no secret to Eagles fans and even fans of football in general. The Eagles' biggest problem was the edge. So I'm expecting them to take probably an edge rusher here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a miracle Philly finally didn't take a fucking Georgia defensive player.
And with the 31st overall pick in the MFL draft, the Eagles have selected LT Overton, who's an edge rusher from Alabama. So,
yeah, very good edger.
Yeah, so we already know that they just got TJ Watt, so they're really trying with this defense here. And yeah, taking LT Overton, he was a top 5 prospect in this draft, at least for defense. So I think this is a good pick for Philly, especially considering the edge rusher problems last year. And this is, I think, going to help them a lot here, especially with Vic Fangio. We know how much he's helped previous edge rushers in Denver, in Philly, in Miami. So, yeah, this is a good pick to me. And the final pick in this draft is going to be the Cleveland Browns. They're on the clock right now. That we just saw them get the 10th overall pick a little bit earlier, where they selected Eric Singleton Jr., wide receiver from Auburn. What do you think they take here? Because we expect them to take defense early on, and they went with the offense. They went with the special teams players. So
I mean, of course, you have Quinshon Judkins, who maybe you take a running back, because Quinshon Judkins has issues off the field. Of course, last year he was charged with assault, but sorry, yeah, it was assault, and so yeah, maybe you take a running back here because but even though he's a great talent, he has issues off the field, so.
Yep, and with the 32nd overall pick in the MFL draft, the Cleveland Browns have taken Deontay Lawson, a linebacker, Alabama. So going right back to the defense as we expected. What do you think?
All right, so another defensive player for the Browns, and I don't hate the pick. Maybe I would have went corner now that Denzel Ward is gone. Of course, traded to, I believe, Philly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, Philly is insane. And his so yeah, big thing there. So yeah, I mean, of course, who did Philly trade for him again?
I believe they traded a pick for the 2026-2027 draft, first round pick for the 2026-2027. Yeah. So that will do it for the and I'd put another player too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyways, that will do it for the first round. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the second round of this MFL draft, where we'll see the Jaguars started off with the 33rd overall pick, and that's going to be an interesting one when we return. Now we're ready for the second round of the MFL draft, and for the second round of the 33rd overall pick, the Jaguars have selected A.J. Harris, cornerback, Penn State. So, of course, the Jags did not have a first-round pick because of the Travis Hunter trade from last year.
But you got
but still able to get a very good corner in the second round here.
Yeah, Jags, of course, in the NFL, allowing the most yards for a quarterback, but they also are forced a lot of turnovers. So this is probably a good pick. You want to stop allowing a lot of yards for quarterbacks. But, yeah, good pick.
All right. For the 34th overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks have selected Jennings Dunker, offensive tackle from Iowa. So, of course, we know the Seahawks have been working on that O-line for a while now, especially considering the rough roundings of the Geno era. So, yeah, big for, of course, Jalen Milroe, who will be their starting quarterback going into next season.
I know. Of course, Sam Darnold getting traded to New Orleans.
Yep. And for the 35th overall pick, the Buffalo Bills have selected Jonah Coleman, running back from Washington. So the Bills aren't really in a running back hell right now. They do have James Cook, who's been very good. But they do like to draft a lot of young running backs to split carries with James Cook, obviously, to keep him more preserved for games. Which, of course, we know they drafted Ray Davis a couple seasons ago, and now have selected Jonah Coleman, who is Washington's running back, and he's really good. I think this is a good pick from Buffalo.
Yep.
In the 36th overall pick, the Washington Commanders have selected C.J. Allen, linebacker from Georgia. So Georgia, of course, very good on the defensive side. They have been for years. We know Philadelphia typically likes to draft from Georgia a lot.
Yep.
And the Commanders did this time, and C.J. Allen, of course, has been an incredible part of that Georgia defense and will probably help the Commanders, who have been a little bit of a struggling defense, and look to rebuild on that front because their offense is close to complete, still has some work to be done, but their defense is a much bigger concern for them. In the 37th overall pick, we're not done with the NFC East here, the Dallas Cowboys have selected Tareen York, linebacker from Texas A&M. So we just, of course, talked about the linebacker from Georgia and C.J. Allen. So Tareen York, of course, Texas A&M known for their very strong defensive front, now going to help Dallas. Now Dallas, much like the Commanders, have struggled defensively, even though their offense is close to complete. So, yeah, I mean, this is a good pick for them. I think that defense needs to rebuild, especially considering Micah is now over in Green Bay. I think there's a lot of things that have to be fixed on that defense.
Yep.
Especially on the front line.
Yeah, and Texas A&M with an elite defense.
Exactly.
So.
With the 38th overall pick, the Detroit Lions, this is a big one, have selected Cade Klubnik, quarterback from Clemson. So, his draft stock started off strong. It has dropped quite a bit. But the Lions, of course, with Goff has been in the league for a very long time, so there's no guarantee how much longer
I know, but I'm not the biggest fan of this pick because, like, Kite Klubnik has really not that good in his senior year. I mean, in the CFB he was great, but for us, yeah, he was amazing. But he hasn't been really that good in the NCAA.
Yeah. With the 39th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Carolina Panthers have selected Tanner Koziel, I think I'm saying that right, tight end from Houston. So, of course, the Panthers want to get more targets. They drafted Tet last year, and of course, they have a good receiving back front. So, good on them for building more on that receiving front. And the Panthers look to be contenders again. They haven't really been serious contenders since the Cam Newton days.
Yeah.
So now they look to rebuild, and they've been having a good draft so far. I like what they've been doing. And moving on to the next pick, we're back in the AFC for this one. Haven't been since the 35th pick with Buffalo. But with the 40th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Houston Texans have selected Caden Green, left guard from Missouri State. So, of course, much like the previous round, they are just building on that O-line for Stroud. Of course, we know Stroud took some serious hits last year, especially in that Tampa Bay game, where he was just getting beat up on that from that defense in the front line. So, obviously, a huge concern for Houston in this draft is
you have to
line.
protect your franchise guy. I mean, he's been out of those since his rookie year. Because the his offensive line has been so bad. People have taken him out of those. People used to put him in top 5 conversations, but ever since his rookie year, he's just gotten worse and worse. And you could argue it was because of his offensive line not being good at all in any way.
And it's also important to have a good offensive line, of course, when you're in a division with defenses that are building up to be strong, like Jacksonville's and Tennessee's.
Yeah.
And maybe potentially even Miami.
Oh, sorry, fuck. Yeah,
because of the switch. Anyways, with the 41st overall pick, we're back into the NFC. The Chicago Bears have selected Armaj Reed Adams, who is a offensive guard from Texas A&M. So,
all right, a lot of Texas A&M.
Of course, big concern with Caleb Williams was the O-line. Now, in the NFL, they did rebuild it quite a bit, but in the MFL, it was a big problem for him, even in that Dallas Cowboys game from around midway through the season. I mean, Caleb literally got hurt in that game. His backup got hurt in that game. So, important for the Bears to build on that offensive line for sure. Even though they did make some big trades and big signings over this offseason in both the NFL and the MFL, obviously, it's important to build on that offensive line, especially with a guy like Caleb, who has so much talent and is really good at reading defenses. It seems like his biggest struggle has been his confidence in that pocket. So, with the 42nd overall pick, the Indianapolis Colts have selected Chandler Rivers, cornerback of Duke. So, of course, the Colts, their biggest problem has been the secondary, and much like in the NFL, in the MFL, they have acquired Sauce Gardner,
who causes a lot of problems because he's ass.
Yeah.
He do be ass.
Yeah. With the 43rd pick in the MFL draft, the San Diego Superchargers have selected Kevin Concepcion, wide receiver from Texas A&M. So no Texas A&M in this draft.
Looks like the Chargers are actually building on this receiving room, because now they have a staff receiving room.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with Keenan Allen's out.
Yeah, and I mean, that's basically been a lot of people's and a lot of Chargers fans' concern with Justin Herbert. It's been, he's got the O-line down, he's got the defense down, he's got the head coach down, he's got the run game down. But
all he has is Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
And you can now QJ's getting better, but still.
Yeah. With the 44th pick in the MFL draft, going back, we're staying in the AFC West here. We got Katron Allen, running back, Penn State. So, of course, very talented running back from Penn State. He's one of the best in the country. And what has been Kansas City's biggest struggle in the past couple of seasons? It's been that run game. Pacheco has been one of the worst ranked running backs in the league. So much to a point where Mahomes was leading his team in rushing yards. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. So, I think Chandler Rivers is a perfect addition to this roster, especially considering how good he's been in Penn State. And I like the pick a lot for Kansas City here. I think Beach had a good draft here. With the 45th pick in the MFL draft. What were you talking about?
Nothing. Later.
The Baltimore Ravens have selected Danny Dennis Sutton, edge rusher from Penn State. So staying in Penn State here. And the Ravens, they want to build on that edge room a lot because, their defense wasn't looking so good.
Yeah, but it's no November, so chill on that.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
chill on
yeah.
the edges.
But they want to continue on that front, and I think this is a good pick for them.
Yeah, chill on it though, because chill on the edging.
Yeah. With the 46th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints have selected Eric Rivers, wide receiver from Georgia Tech. So, of course, we know the receiving core. It's getting a bit old. It's getting a bit hurt. And, last year they had a run. They were in the play-in before eventually being eliminated by the Vikings. But
And of course, we got Sam Darnold. He bounces around the league as a starter, but he usually makes you a playoff push.
yeah, and I think if they, made that run that they did with Russell Wilson, I think they could do even better with Sam Darnold.
I know, because Russell can be washed.
Yeah.
So, and also Georgia Tech. Oh my God. We don't use them, but on the NCAA, why are you so fucking good?
With the 47th overall pick in the NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders have selected Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama. So, of course, with Jacoby Myers going to Jacksonville, I think this is an important gain for the Raiders. Jacoby Myers was really the best receiver on that team, and I think this is the best addition they could have added in the second round here. So, with the...
You still to go along with Trey Tucker, yeah.
Yeah. With the 48th pick in the MFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers have selected Dylan Thiemann, safety from Oregon. So...
Great pick.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean,
one of the best safeties I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, we know the Niners have good drafts all the time, and I think this is a good one here. When their defense is healthy, they're dangerous, and I know they're typically known for their offense because of Kyle Shanahan's system, but don't underrate that defense. I mean, Kyle Shanahan can do a lot even with injured players. Imagine what he can do with a player such as Dylan Thiemann on his roster. So, with the 49th overall pick in the NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals have selected Jaden Ott, running back, Oklahoma.
Jaden Ott, I'm sorry. Your career's over. You had a nice career.
Yeah, now you gotta play behind that Bengals O-line.
And you gotta play.
But you do also get to play in the same offense as Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow, so there's that.
You have to play. You're probably not gonna get paid.
Yeah, it's gonna take you a while to get paid for sure.
Yeah, poor guy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. With the 50th overall pick in the NFL Draft, the New York Giants have selected Jack Endries, tight end, Texas. So a good pick for the Giants, of course, now, especially with Jackson Dart in the mix. We did see flashes of him last season. He did play a little bit, but the majority of the season, it was there was a bunch of different quarterbacks starting. So now Jackson Dart is going to be the official starter for the entire season, assuming he stays healthy for that long. He's got Malik back. He's got Jack Endries to pass to now. He's got Darius Slayton. So there's some good additions to this roster for Jackson Dart.
Of course, you also got the Boo.
Yeah.
The Boo.
Yeah,
Scataboo.
Yeah. With the 51st overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons have selected Oscar Delp, tight end from Georgia. So, of course, we do know that they put their stock in Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is kind of an inconsistent player. I'm assuming Kyle Pitts is going to start for a lot of the next season. Maybe they're just getting Oscar Delp to do some more run blocking or whatever.
I don't hate this trade. This thing. I mean, Kyle Pitts is a good player, but his inconsistencies. He has too many inconsistencies to the point where it could cost Atlanta from making that postseason push. So I say you get a good tight end too, and guess what? Now if Kyle Pitts is playing like shit, you put him on. But if Kyle Pitts is really good, you put Kyle Pitts on. That's good. That's a good trade. I mean. Look at the 2010 Patriots. Cannot believe I'm saying this. Look at the 2010 Patriots. They had Rob Gronkowski and a guy that will not be mentioned. And they went to the Super Bowl. And we won't mention who that guy was. I think it was 2012, actually.
With the 52nd overall pick in the NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos have selected Matoyo. Oh, I'm going to need Google Translate for that name. Give it a little quick intermission here because I have no idea how to pronounce that. All right, I'm back. With the 52nd overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Denver Broncos have selected Matoyo Ungalele, edge rusher from Oregon.
They are stat patters.
Yeah, of course.
They had the great. In the NFL right now, they're putting up literal Legion of Boom numbers.
And they're still going to have Nick Amino in the NFL too, by the way. So just letting you know.
Yeah, we're putting up Legion of Boom numbers. We have an arguably a defensive rookie of the year.
I mean, at this point, they just want the Great Wall of China. with the 53rd overall pick in the MFL draft, the Tennessee Titans have selected Blake Miller, offensive tackle from Clemson. So of course, helping on that offensive line front. Of course, a big thing that was
from that bum Cam Ward.
Well, a big thing that was present for Cam Ward before he got drafted was that he always had a great O-line, and of course he does still play fairly well under a significantly worse O-line. But of course, you can't just rely on your quarterback to play behind O-lines like that because injuries happen. I mean, look at Joe Burrow. I mean, Burrow has been injured several times because of that offensive line. So Titans are trying to suffer from the same thing the Bengals are, and I think that's a smart move by them. Tennessee already had played a lot better than people expected them to. So last year, so I like the pick. Of course, they made the playoffs. They would be eliminated by Jacksonville in the wild card, but made more of a push than expected.
I mean, got blown out, but yeah.
It's better than what people expected. But with the 54th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Los Angeles Rams have selected Carson Beck, QB Miami. So obviously we know why this pick has been made, and he's probably not going to start much next year, if not at all, because they do want to finish out that time they have with Stafford, while Stafford can still play at a good level. But
it's Carson Beck. I mean, so Carson Beck, he's a good quarterback. He struggled. He just needs to, if he could fix up those interceptions,
which I think he can do under a Sean McVay system, by the way.
Yeah, he can do that. If he could fix up those interceptions, he will be an elite quarterback. Like, he could be a top 10 quarterback in this league. I just fix up the interceptions.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, I think the Rams will probably plan on starting him in the 2027 or 2028 season. They've already said they plan on riding with Stafford for 2026, but for those other two seasons, it's all up in the air for now. With the 55th overall pick in the MFL draft, the New England Patriots have selected Eugene Wilson III, wide receiver, Florida. So of course, they got Diggs. They got Boat. Let's keep on adding for the wide receivers.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta help Drake May there.
Yeah.
Of course, it was the 2 seed last year before a disappointing exit.
Yeah. With the 56th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Minnesota Vikings have selected Mikhail Kamara, edge rusher, Indiana. So Indiana, of course, made a big push last year, and as of right now, at the time of this recording, they're undefeated. So I shouldn't say this last year. I should literally say it right now. But they're making a good push, so good pick for Minnesota here. With the 57th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Green Bay Packers have selected Tyreek Sapp, edge rusher, Florida. So a lot of edge rushers being taken in the second round here. Packers adding to that, and of course, they already have Micah on the left. And I expect them to do just as much on the right side, so good pick for them here, of course, with that Jeff Happy defense last year, actually, or I should say this year at the time of this recording again. They're ranked 24th in red zone defense, so that's been a big problem for them. And of course, last year it really did feel like their defense was kind of the thing that was bailing them out. They want to keep adding on to that, I guess. I do think they should still do more building on their offense, but I still don't hate the pick. I think it's good for them, especially with a defense that they're trying to make as young as possible and kind of move away from that Aaron Rodgers era, which they have done efficiently so far. With the 58th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Jets have selected Christian Miller, defensive lineman, Georgia. How do you feel about this pick?
I mean, if you want to help out that defense, especially after you just got rid of Quinnen Williams to Dallas, but I feel like you got to help out that D-line, and it's a good pick. The Jets, of course, had a surprising run last year. Not they're still the Jets in real life, but hey, in Madden they're good.
With the 59th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Dolphins have selected Jalen Kilgore's cornerback, South Carolina. So Jalen Kilgore, he was phenomenal in South Carolina. I think he's going to be even possibly better in Miami because they're in a big rebuild right now where they're firing everybody, starting from fresh, kind of like Washington did not too long ago.
Yeah, they had a great year last year. Almost went to the conference finals, and the Jags in a Florida conference.
Yeah. With the 60th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Arizona Cardinals have selected Isaiah World, offensive tackle, Oregon. So, of course, it does look like the Cardinals are trying to in the MFL at least, trying to, make this Kyler Murray thing work out. And last year they went all the way to the divisional before being eliminated by Philly, and they had a good run, a lot better of a run than expected. They beat it. Oh my God, I sound like a 2-year-old. They beat the I believe
Atlanta.
They beat Atlanta. I just don't remember Atlanta's seeding. They were like the 5 seed, but they had a better record, so it was based off because the Tampa Bay won the division. But Atlanta was I believe 13-win team, 13-5. So, I mean, that was.
By the way, we're going back to it.
We're going back to 17 games. Yeah, but I mean, like I said before, they had a better run than people expected. Atlanta was expected to go very far, considering how they were playing all season. And, Atlanta beat a lot of good teams last year. They beat Philly, they beat Jacksonville, they beat Baltimore. And the Cardinals, who barely won the division and didn't win that many games, were the ones to eliminate them from the playoffs. So I think if you keep rebuilding on that roster, Arizona could very well be a dominant team in the NFC West. With the 61st overall pick in the MFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers have selected Michael Tafay, safety from Texas. So we know Pittsburgh loves to spend on their defense.
Yeah,
but if you're going to spend on your defense, at least make it a little bit.
And this was a need clearly a need last year after Minka Fitzpatrick Minka Fitz, AJ Brown's son, got traded to the Dolphins.
Yeah, but as I was saying, if you're going to put money into your defense, might as well make it a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the 62nd overall pick in the
we're getting close to
MFL draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Emil Wagner, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. So, Tampa Bay, of course, that offensive line, kind of edging on the older side. So, got to get some younglings in there. Of course, they can still ride with some of their guys, but you always got to have a backup plan for when those guys get old and sick and injured, or just randomly out of the blue. Hey, it's football. Some people just retire out of nowhere.
They also starting to get old balls.
Yeah. With the 63rd overall pick in the NFL draft, Pittsburgh is back. They select Elijah Sarrett, wide receiver, Indiana. So, Pittsburgh, of course, looking to get back onto that receiver side. They got DK Metcalf. Calvin Austin, he's good. Not a 2 material, more leaning on the 3 side, but he's good. So let's see what Elijah Sarrett can do in Pittsburgh. Of course, we don't know who Pittsburgh's starting quarterback is going to be yet. It's not actually Aaron Rodgers has said that he doesn't know for sure if he's retired yet. We'll find that out maybe later into this offseason. But for now, they're really building onto that receiving corps for whoever their quarterback's going to be, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or whether it's, I believe, Will Howard.
Yeah. No, Aaron Rodgers is officially retired.
All right, so. For the last I've heard of it, he was like, "I'll see if I want to come back or not." But
no, he's retired.
I think he retired on a good note, all the way to the conference championship.
He said last year it was this year was just for fun, and he was going to retire. He literally announced it last year.
With the 64th overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars are back, and they have selected Ipani Alululu, center from Oregon.
Of course, yeah, this is probably a need. I mean, they almost got cost last year in the wild card because of Graham. So I know he's only in his second year, but he has to pick it up. He had to pick it up.
All right, now we're going to be moving on to the 3rd round after this intermission.
And we are here for the 3rd round of the MFL Draft. So we've been through our 2 rounds. They've been pretty hectic, and now we're on to the 3rd. So with the 65th pick in the MFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns have selected Kamari Ramsey, safety from South Carolina. So the Browns, who already have a very good defense, looking to make that defense even better. But you have to wonder what they're going to do offensively as this draft keeps going. And they only have 2 more rounds to go. And so let's see. They traded down with, I believe, the Colts in the 1st round. So interesting move for them. And while we were just talking there, the Seattle Seahawks were on the clock, and they have picked Derek Moore, defensive end / edge rusher from Michigan. So we know Seattle
has a history of having good defense, and they're looking to make this one good. Of course, we know that the year they had, they were not a winning team, and part of that was the fact that a lot of their defense was just very slow, and especially on the offense, the offensive line wasn't doing too good either. So now they look to balance it out and get some edge rushers in so they can help, get some sacks, and that's good for them. With the 67th pick
6'7".
in the MFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills have selected Tim Keenan III, a defensive lineman slash defensive tackle from Alabama. So Alabama's generated some great defenses in the past, and of course Buffalo has had to work on their defense. Of course, they suffered a lot of injuries and a lot of other things going into the last season, and they look to improve on that side. So I think this is a good pick for the Buffalo Bills. With the 68th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Washington Commanders have selected Caleb Banks, defensive end slash edge rusher from Florida. So the Commanders, of course, have a very old defense, and they look to make it a little younger so they can compete with some of the best defenses in the NFC, like the Eagles, like the Cowboys, or not like the Cowboys. I was going to say like the Cowboys when they're healthy. I forgot we're living in 2025, not 2023. Anyways, like the Packers, like the Lions, like the Bears, and whatever. With the 69th overall pick in the NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys have selected Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle from Utah. So, Cowboys love building on that O-line. They look to do it a little more here with Caleb Lomu at offensive tackle. With the 70th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Detroit Lions have selected Suntarine Perkins, linebacker such edge rusher from Ole Miss. So the Lions, they want to get some sacks in there. They already have Aiden Hutchinson on the edge. I guess they want to put another outside edge rusher. So good on them. They have a very good interior D-line, and they want to fix that outerior a little bit. With the 71st overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers have selected Caleb Tiernan, offensive tackle from Northwestern. So, of course, the Panthers have a lot of rebuilding to do, and honestly, their season last year wasn't terrible. They didn't make the postseason or anything, let alone the play-in. But we saw some improvement. They looked good at the beginning of the season. They gave the Rams a good run for their money.
And the guy that you're trying to make, your guy Bryce Young, is starting to look a little bit better from how he started. So
yeah, with the 72nd overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Houston Texans have selected Connor Lew, center from Auburn. So, I mean, you've seen it in the past 2 rounds. The Texans have just been working on their O-line viciously here. It looks like they want a completely young O-line and one that's really good because, of course, if there's anything they're missing, it is an O-line because their defense is one of the best, if not the best, in the league. And they have some good skills players too. So
and you're kind of wasting your defense is like it's prime, and that defense isn't going to be this good forever. So you gotta make your quarter, and you have a horrible quarterback too. So I'm gonna try and
okay, he's just joking.
So I'm gonna try and draft a quarterback too.
Yeah, I know. So they're just trying to build an O-line for Stroud here, it seems, because they did trade a lot of it away and got rid of some people in the 2025 offseason. So, good move by them, trying to get that young O-line going. They've so far already drafted 3 offensive linemen to get 3 rounds in. So that's what's going on in Houston. And with the 73rd overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Chicago Bears have selected Zane Durant, edge rusher from Penn State. So the Bears, they want to build up on that defense, of course. They're already looking to be one of the best teams in the league during this draft, and they have a lot of pieces already filled. And now they're fixing the outside D-line. So with the 74th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts have selected Deion Burks, wide receiver from Oklahoma. So that Colts offense, it's very good, but they want to make it a little bit better because the receiving core is not the strongest in the league. And now they've selected Deion Burks, who is a very high prospect wide receiver out of the University of Oklahoma. So With the 75th overall pick in the MFL draft, the San Diego Chargers have selected Mansour Delane, CB from LSU. So, Chargers looking to fix up that secondary a little bit, and I think this is a good pick for them. With the 76th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs have selected
Verse 6-7.
Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, Georgia. So, of course, they did get rid of a lot of pieces on the O-line in the 2025 offseason, and that has made Mahomes and even the running game struggle a little bit. So, they want to get some more tackles in there, and I think the Chiefs are doing very good with drafting this young O-line, considering a lot of people on their O-line are on the older side now. So, with the 77th overall pick in the MFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens have selected Joshua Josephs, defensive end edge rusher from Tennessee. So, Tennessee and the MFL CFB have been incredible. I mean
9-2.
Yep, they
locking the big, about to lock the Big Ten. So could lock up the Big Ten and make it to the championship round.
Yes.
So the divisional round.
Yeah, this is
Champions round. Sorry, fuck.
This is coming up after the final game though.
After,
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So yeah, that would be
So the first place and can very well make it past the champions round.
Yeah. So big for the Baltimore Ravens here. Of course, their defense has been on and off. Sometimes it's the worst defense you've ever seen. Sometimes it's one of the best defenses you've ever seen. So good on them for drafting some young defense. With the 78th overall pick in the MFL draft, the New Orleans Saints have selected Austin Barber, offensive tackle from Florida. So, Saints having a whole new rebuild. They actually did a lot better in the MFL last year than expected. They were able to make it to the postseason, not the playoffs, but the play-in, before eventually losing to the Minnesota Vikings. But they made it good with Russell Wilson, and they're looking to build a new O-line for whoever their quarterback's going to be. It seems to be that they want to acquire Sam Darnold, so that's big for them. So, I mean, Sam's a lot younger, and of course, you got to draft an O-line for him so you can preserve him and potentially make him your franchise guy. With the 79th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders have selected Trevor Gooseby, offensive tackle from Texas. So, the Raiders, I don't think they're sure of who they want to start yet. There's a lot of rumors going on right now on draft night that they want to acquire a quarterback. We don't know who the quarterback will be, but if they do end up getting one, of course you've got to build an O-line around them. So I think this is a good pick for the Raiders. With the 80th overall pick in the NFL draft, sorry about that little glitch there, the 49ers have selected Jermaine Matthews Jr., CB out of Ohio State. So the 49ers want to rebuild that defense. Of course, there was a little period where everybody they had was just getting cut or traded. So they want to start new. They want to start fresh. And this is a team that has been in the Super Bowl quite a lot recently, has not had any success in it. But they want to get back there, and they want to do it with this young core. So Jermaine Matthews, CB out of Ohio State, he was a high prospect. And we all know that Ohio State has pretty much elite players at every position. So let's see what he does in San Francisco. With the 81st overall pick in the MFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals have selected Dalen Everett, CB, Georgia.
I am sorry, you're probably not going to get paid, but...
Yeah, but no, in all seriousness, the Bengals, if there's anything they need, it's defense. We know they love to pay the receivers. We know they love to... they love Joe Burrow, even though they won't build no line around him. Maybe they don't love Joe Burrow.
Maybe they hate him.
Yeah, but they definitely have a lot of things met on offense outside of maybe offensive line, and maybe they could use a little bit of a better run game. But I think that defense is very important for the Cincinnati team. I mean, no matter how explosive their offense can be, their defense just isn't good enough to hold out other teams. And this is a team that I think can make really dominate the AFC if they just had a better defense. So good on them. And again, a team that has been to the Super Bowl before, a team that has been to, I believe, two AFC championship games. And they did it all with that explosive offense and their defense when it was a little bit better. But now their defense is ranked almost worse than the league at everything. So yeah, good pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. With the 82nd overall pick in the MFL draft, the New York Football Giants have selected David Bailey, linebacker out of Texas Tech. Giants looking to fix up that defense a little more. I mean, it is already a great unit, but it does need to get a little bit better, like everything does. And the Giants, I mean, they started off very bad last year, and they were able to make a push in all the way to the play-in, so before eventually losing, I believe, to the 49ers. So they could, again, make a decent run. Actually, my bad. No, they actually beat the 49ers. They fell short to the Vikings in the final round of the play-in. So actually, yeah, they did make a push. So yeah, I think this team has a future. Of course, they found their franchise running back and quarterback. So now it's just time to build a little bit more of a defense, a little bit more of an offensive line maybe, and maybe a little bit more of an offense, like with your skills players. I mean, you have Malik Neighbors and such, but it could be a little better on the receiving side. But other than that, I think they've been doing pretty well in this draft so far. With the 83rd overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons have selected Will Lee III, cornerback out of Texas A&M. So Falcons already have a good defense. Looks like they want to build it a little more. With the 84th pick out of the MFL Draft, the Denver Broncos have selected Justin Joly, tight end of NC State. Broncos, of course, they have Evan Ingram at tight end right now, but they want to get a younger guy, a guy that's more reliable, at least in terms of his injury report, and I think they're good on doing this right now. Of course, Ingram will. We don't know his whereabouts right now. We don't know if he's gonna sign with any other team or get traded, or if Denver's going to keep him.
Yeah, he's still in the Broncos.
Right now he's still in the Broncos, but anything could change because there has been talks about him being traded. But even if he doesn't get traded, I think, yeah, you do need to have a reliable tight end because Evan Ingram isn't getting any younger.
Yeah, so. I mean, I think this is just so they're drafting him now because they know Evan Ingram, he's been in the league for a long time, he's a veteran, he doesn't have much time left, so you want to have this new tight end have some training in the background from one of the great all-time greats.
Yeah, and I think it's a good pick on Denver's side, especially considering how much we know they love to take defense in drafts. With the 85th overall pick, with the 85th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans have selected Chris Brazell II, wide receiver out of Tennessee. How ironic is that? So the Tennessee Titans, of course, have taken Chris Brazell II out of Tennessee. He is one of the higher prospects as well. And if there was anything that we thought the Titans struggled with last year, it was some of that wide receiver play. Of course, you do have Calvin Ridley, but even he's getting on the older side. So I think you do have to get a younger receiving core for your young quarterback who brought you to the playoffs last year.
I mean, he's a bum, but he's a trash can.
Okay, he's a Jags fan, so don't listen to everything he's saying. Anyways, about AFC South teams.
He's a bum. He's a trash can, and he let his team down when Tennessee needed him the most.
All right. Anyways, with the 86th overall pick in the NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams selected Avion Terrell, safety out of Clemson. So, the Rams, if there's any weakness you could point out with them, it would be their DB room. I mean, it's improving. It's still not great. So they want to take a high prospect safety, and that's exactly what they did at Clemson, of course. And that brings us to the 87th overall pick, the New England Patriots, who have selected Mateo Ugalele, defensive end. I actually think I got that right. Defensive end / edge rusher out of Oregon. So, Patriots, they're clearly rebuilding on that defensive side. They really want to get things going. And, I mean, with a team that was just a 4-win team not too long ago, last year for the MFL, they were the number 2 seed in the AFC, in a very competitive AFC, only behind the 1-seeded Steelers. So, they want to get that 1 seed. They're already a dominant MFL team, and last year they won the East over the Bills and the Jets, who started off 7-0. So
it's really weird to say because they're
the fucking Jets. Anyways, yeah, but no, the Patriots look to go back-to-back in the division, and they've been incredible in this draft. One of my favorite teams in this draft so far. With the 88th overall pick in the NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Dante Moore, QB out of Oregon. So, JJ did play fairly well last year. He got to the he actually won the play-in with the Vikings to where they eventually fall short to their division rival Packers, who completely swept them last year, beat them 3 times, twice in the regular season, and then of course eliminated them in the wild card round. But look, if this J.J. McCarthy experiment somehow doesn't work out, they got Dante Moore, who's a high QB prospect out of Oregon. He's great, and now they have another big prospect on the roster. Let's see what they do with this. With the 89th overall pick in the MFL Draft, here comes their division rivals, Green Bay Packers, who have selected Xavier Chaplin, offensive tackle out of Auburn. So they look to give Jordan Love more time in that pocket. We know when he has good time, he can make anything happen. He's actually, statistically, the third most clutch quarterback out of any quarterback since 2000. So that is proof to you that if you give Jordan Love some time in that pocket, he can make things happen. And I think the Packers are very well drafting both receivers and offensive linemen in this draft. And then, of course, you already have that stacked defense now with Micah Parsons, which we haven't seen in the MFL yet. And, I mean, even last year, the Green Bay Packers, they looked like for a period of time it was between them and the Eagles for the 1 seed. I guess you could say the Falcons and Bucks too, but it was really the Eagles and Packers for a lot of the season. And the Packers did end up getting it. The Eagles did end up getting it. But the Packers still got the 2 seed and didn't make the playoff run they wanted to. But they were booted in the divisional round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who would then go on to face the Eagles in the NFC Championship. But, I mean, again, with receivers and an O-line, I think the Packers can really make things happen and potentially even go to the Super Bowl next year. With the 90th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Jets have selected Chris Bell, wide receiver out of Louisville. So
Because they're the New York Jets.
yeah, so they want another receiver. They're going to get another receiver. And so they have some support for Garrett Wilson. Of course, they also had Tim Patrick, who balled out a lot last year. Tim Patrick, don't know where his whereabouts are going. Don't know if he's going to stay with the Jets or not.
He has been signed. He got signed to the Jaguars.
Looks like he's been signed to the Jaguars tonight. So, with the 91st overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins have selected Olavide Leone, offensive guard out of Penn State. That was definitely hard to say. Sorry if I butchered the name, but Dolphins want to rebuild on that O-line, and that's what they're going to do. They did get rid of a lot of offensive linemen pieces in the 2025 offseason, and they're looking to get some young people in there. So good for them, just like what the Packers are doing, it seems. But with the 92nd overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals have selected Jacoby Lane, wide receiver out of South California. So with Marvin Harrison Jr. on that receiving team, now they look to get another one. Of course, the Cardinals and Kyler Murray did make a big push last year. They made it all the way to the divisional round before being eliminated by the eventual NFC champs that year, the Eagles. So, yeah, they want to make a run, and they're drafting more skills players to make that run. With the 93rd overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers have selected Jaden Roberts, offensive guard out of Alabama. So he is quite the talent himself. He is one of the highest guard prospects out of college, and Steelers, again, another team with a lot of old players on the O-line, a lot of old players on the defense. They look to get some younger players in there. With the 94th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have selected Ian Strong, wide receiver out of Rutgers. So it won't be an MFL draft without the Buccaneers drafting wide receivers. So with the 95th overall pick in the MFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles, who traded away their second-round pick for T.J. Watt, have selected Keith Abney II, CB out of Arizona State. So, yeah, the Eagles have very talented defense already, and they want to put some more. They want to put some more talent on the outside. So good for them, and acquiring Keith Abney II. He's very highly rated corner in this draft class. And to do it for the third round, the Jacksonville Jaguars have selected Malachi Fields, wide receiver out of Notre Dame. The Jags have a lot of receivers on their roster, and they put one more cherry on top, it seems, with Malachi Fields. He's a very good prospect here, and the Jags have acquired him to their roster, looking to get Trevor Lawrence some more help on the outside.